So this right here is the map of old uh, Malta, right? The Star Citadel and city and main part. Um,
Mhm.
how big is the island compared to the rest of this area, and how much of this area, in your opinion, was the foundation geopolymer or from like the most advanced pre-cataclysm society or age compared to the rest of it, do you suspect?
Right, so this segment that you're looking at now is literally probably about 1/15 of the island, and it's the capital, which is in the middle, the bit sticking down, and Floriana just above that, which is the city or the town where I lived. And on the right hand side of that is a place called Manuel Island, which is a star fault on an island. And on the left of that is the three cities, which is three massive star cities, basically. And going back to what I said to Cam earlier, when you walk around these places, the base of these are all poured geopolymer, massive megalithic structures. And then the next layer, and you can see when you walk along around there, you can see that it's all been chopped down level, like you can literally see it. And then on top of that, they've put the block work. And then on top of that one, you've got the most modern block work on top of that. But that star fault in the middle in Valletta, if you can see that middle one, that actually is so big that it goes through to the next town. And what they've done is they've broke that star fault into two towns, which one city, which is Valletta, and then obviously Floriana above that. But and another thing about Valletta, that goes 5 stories deep till you're down at sea level. So you've got this massive limestone structure, and then on top of that, they've built a city. But people don't realise that when you're standing in a city, that you've got 5 levels. You got everything down there, man.
Do you think it was built pre-flood? Like, do you think that like what we're looking at is a post-flood picture?
This
Like
picture is 1694, I think. This map is 1694.
Could all of these like star maps that are from the 1500s, is it possible they redated them and that they could actually be like a couple thousand years older than instead of 500 sort of thing?
Sure.
Very good point, Bern. Right, basically, when I was doing my research in Malta and I was walking around, I come across a statue in Floriana of a guy who apparently built the star faults, right? And the guy is called something de Vilhena. I can't remember his first name. I just remember de Vilhena. And it says on his statue, right underneath it, it says that this guy added to existing fortifications, meaning, and that was in the 1500s, meaning that the stuff was already there.
Yeah.
Right, and like
that's what it looks like, and they've just put the extra walls on top and the smaller houses and stuff.
Yeah.
But you show that the foundation is essentially the biggest build of all. Like that foundation is 5 stories deep, essentially, so that if it was already documented as being there, that whatever was there is actually a massive prior build, and that it's those other layers you're saying of the blocks, and then like the less blocks, and then like the new stuff or whatnot that would have been from those ages.
Yeah, that's right, mate. That's exactly it. I believe the blocks that are sitting on top of the geopolymer were the actual geopolymer, but broken up and then made into molds, so they could reshape what goes on top of what they've cut down. That's what I reckon's happened. I don't reckon they were originally like fortifications for protection against cannons and stuff like that. Because when I was doing research before, there's a star city or star fort in India that's 4,000 years old. Now the cannon was invented in the 13 or 1400s.
Bahrain, they dug out another star fort, identical star fort in Bahrain in the Middle East, there next to Saudi Arabia, UAE. That was also, I believe, 4,500 or even older than that they dated it to, right? So it's like,
because anything pre-1500 is against their narrative. They say it all started in the 1500s. That's when the first bastion forts were built by the Italians and French.
Really? I
so
didn't know
and
that.
and they're supposed to have only just done it until 1750, which is before Australia was discovered, apparently, and we've got star forts here. So that's another one, right? But definitely they're thousands of years beforehand, and that just destroys the narrative.
Well, we see this picture here that we're looking at. That star fault on the left, these star faults are a lot older than mate. These star faults are, I say, they predate Egyptian stuff, especially on the left-hand side. When you walk around there, like even the blocks that have blocked up the tunnels there, they are like ancient stones, you know. So these were blocked up a long time ago. And another thing about all these structures that you see, all around the outskirts of these are littered with entrances, as in dwellings, as in rooms. Like you walk in like a little corridor, and there'll be like 5 or 6 rooms in that dwelling.
Right, and so it makes me wonder that if all of these maps, the star fort maps, the star city maps, lots of them also seem like they have the I or the J in front of the 600 or 500 date, and that it's like, though, that could literally be a millennium or a couple millennium, represent a couple millennium prior to the actual 15 or 1600s, and that these were pre the last reset or the last cataclysm sort of thing, and then just re-inhabited and developed since then.
Definitely, mate.
Yeah, well, there's so many problems with the dating systems and the different calendars and the whole 360 day to 365 day a year, and how ancient cultures used to count in months, not years, and then some people interpret that as years, and that's how we get these, you know, a king ruled for 50,000 years or something. So we've got so many problems with dating and the maps. I mean, and the main thing with maps is we've still got the wrong tropics on them. They're not even for this age or the last age, and like, so who knows where they came from, you know? And we've got some that look like they are from the post or pre-flood world, and some that look like they're just post-flood, you know, different sea levels to what we have. Well, apparently to what we have now. We don't actually know what the world looks like now, though, do we? I mean, that's really where we are. We can't confirm that any of this is more than just a drawing, really. Can we?
One thing I will say about these star faults in Malta or the star cities is they're actually designed to be on the sea level that's there now, if that makes sense. Like,
so the bottom like the base, well, like the bottom stories.
Yeah, the base of these star faults are at sea level.
Okay, so we're talking post flood.
Or was there a flood?
Whatever.
Yeah.